Now, 2 people are reported injured in a blast in Soutrom here in Accra. It is still not clear what triggered the blast, but residents are living in fear. Joy News has been speaking to the Assemblyman Nana Kofi Buanjoa Jr., who says he has alerted the security agencies and NADMO to look into the matter. The injured are said to be responding to treatment at a local polyclinic.
Happened at a suburb of Santa Maria called Anchor of Hope. It's a polling station where we used to vote. Around 3 o'clock p.m., I had a call from one of the residents in Anchor of Hope polling station complaining that there's an explosion in the area, something like a dynamite blast. So I had to rush to the scene. I reported to NADMO and all the stakeholders involved. So we went to the scene and unfortunately, we can't even locate where the issue came from. But they just heard a blast boom like that from the ground. And honestly, the lady who got involved, her name is Gladys Fiave. She's had, all the toenails are vanished with blood squeezing out and all this kind of stuff. And this also a pregnant woman who was trying to come to the scene to come and rescue her sister, but unconsciously she fell, and so that is what happened. So currently the police and the NIB and other security agencies are taking in charge of it and doing investigations. But I would like to use your medium to also appeal to the necessary quarters and the stakeholders involved to come and then come to our aid and solve this issue once and for all for us, because honestly we don't know when it's going to happen again.
Now, the cause of the alleged blast is still remaining a mystery as Anya South MC rules out explosion. At an inspection of the site Wednesday morning, MC Bashir Kamara Mohammed says they do not know what caused a woman's toe to be injured. Meanwhile, some residents claim they heard a loud boom sound coming from that end. My colleague Mamiesi Thompson was there and joins us live on the line. Mamiesi, describe what you saw.
Just to confirm that there was explosion. We didn't see anything of that sort. The place that has been cauldron off is the place that has been pointed out to by a supposed eyewitness to the police. Somebody also pointed out a different place. So it's like the whole thing, you just don't get exactly what happened. Somebody will tell you, oh, I was an eyewitness, I saw this. A different person will also come and tell you, yes, I was here and I saw a different thing.
But we're getting that 2 people got injured. A woman who has her toes ripped off as a result of the incident. Exactly what happened to this person?
It's worrying that somebody has got injured. I'm told she's at the hospital, municipal clinic, and we are taking care of her bills and everything. It's only one person. According to the eyewitness, she sells granules. So when she passed, he called her back to buy granules from her. Then when she reached him, you see what I don't understand. According to the eyewitness, the one who said he called her, when she got to him, she did not know that she was hurt. She got injured. And the supposed sound did not even deter him from going ahead to buy his granules from the woman. Then he saw blood. Then he asked her, Wepra, are you hurt? Are you injured? And he said she's not even aware. And he claims that it looks like bullet wound, it looks like cutlass, it looks like something. Before the woman got to know that she was injured, then she was rushed to the hospital. Then they called her sister who was pregnant, and I think out of panic, she also got herself injured. So that's what happened. If you've heard that maybe 2 people, it's because of the way they put out the information to her, across to her, and then how she received it, and the panic, the way she panicked. That's what made her also injured herself in the process.
And so I really need to understand this, that we do not know how this woman got her toes ripped off from her feet.
Her toe is not ripped off.
Her toe isn't ripped off,
No.
but there are videos with her bloody feet.
Yes, the toe is injured.
Injured.
Yes.
She has all her toes intact.
Yeah, that one.
You've seen it for yourself.
That I can confirm from even the pictures and videos that I've seen. So it's not ripped off. And if it is explosion, madam, you and I know that not only the toes, then she might have lost the entire leg or something. Right. So the whole thing is in a kind of mystery.
But what has the doctor or a health personnel been telling you?
Oh, they've stitched it. That is even enough to tell you that it's not ripped off. They've stitched the toe.
Exactly what caused the injury?
That's exactly what we don't know. So we've called the defense intelligence people from the Ministry of the Defense. They've come here. They've taken pictures. We are going to write their report. When they came, exactly what we were looking out for was exactly what they were also looking out for. They wanted to see evidence. They combed round and round and round and round and round. They could not find evidence. The police commander is here, the divisional commander, the district commander. They are here. All the security couples. We've been here since morning, trying to find out exactly what happened, trying to find some evidence of explosion. We've still not been able to find anything. Just hearsay.
So that's my colleague, Mamiesi Thompson, there speaking to the MC. There's an interaction to a development that happened yesterday around that area where we were told an alleged explosion had occurred, injuring the toe of a woman and another person. We've been to the place to understand what really happened, and there my colleague met the MC who ruled out an explosion because they had combed the whole area per his narration, and they didn't see signs of any explosion there. But Mamiesi is on the ground now and joins us live with more details. Mami, describe for us what you saw. Mami, thanks for joining us. I'm asking for you to paint the picture of what you saw on the ground for us to appreciate it.
Right. So, Grace, if you can hear me, we went to the area of the third explosion, which is at Santa Maria.
Of the third explosion, which is at Santa Maria. There's a place called Anchor of Hope. And when we got there, we realized that a portion of the area had been cordoned off. Well, when I got there and I looked at the cordoned off area, I didn't find any evidence of a blast. I didn't see any soils turn or anything. I only saw a road, a very terrible road for that matter. Very, very, very terrible road. That part of have been cordoned off. And you realize that it's a residential area, and there was a shop right opposite where it had been cordoned. I saw that there were people around, but I didn't see a sign of a blast, as has earlier been reported. However, we got there and we realized that there was an inspection there by some officials from the assembly over there. We spoke to the MC, who was also telling us that he didn't see any sign of blast, and so they cannot really tell what caused the explosion. However, the officials from NADMO, from the police service, even from the army were there this morning to check the situation and also ensure that they'll be investigating it to verify exactly what caused the said explosion. I also spoke to some residents there who told us that they did hear a big bang, but do not know what caused this. Up till now, it's still a mystery what really caused the bang. I'm currently at the Anya Polyclinic, where the woman who stepped on whatever exploded is here currently. She's been admitted. Her feet, her toe, her left toe has been stitched. That toe was injured and then was bleeding profusely yesterday when the said bang happened. But we've spoken to her. She's in good health. She's responding to treatment, and she's currently doing okay. Another lady, a pregnant woman who was dead and also witnessed what happened, went into some form of shock, but we are told that she's doing okay. She didn't have any form of injury, and so she's the only person whose toe is currently stitched. from that blast, or if I should put it that way. So that is the current situation now, Brace. We're still collecting more information. If we have more, we'll let our listeners know.
Okay. Now, what are the observations of officials who visited the site this morning?
Right, so we know that personnel from the army were there. We also know that personnel from NADMO were there. We also know that the members of the assembly were also there to, get information for themselves, examine the situation. As I said earlier, there was a portion of the place eyewitnesses claim that had a blast. But when they got there, there was no blast, or there was no sign of blast. We don't know exactly what caused the injury to the woman's toe. So they were there to have investigate the situation for themselves, but their investigations were not conclusive. As I speak to you, we do not know what caused the blast, and so that is what they've been telling me. I've been hearing personally from the MC, who tells me that the examinations or the tests done by the army and other personnel there didn't prove a blast at the place.
Thank you very much. Now, moving on to other stories here. Ghana has confirmed 5 cases of monkeypox. The development has put the country's health authorities on a high alert. This was confirmed from samples collected from 12 suspected cases in 5 regions. Though the first cluster of the rare infection was detected in the United Kingdom, monkeypox is fast spreading in Nigeria, Cameroon, and other West African countries, the latest being Ghana. Now listen to the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumar-Boaje, as he announced this at a press briefing a short while ago.
So how Omicron just rose in a week, and it's the dominant variant is still the Omicron. Okay. So we want to thank all our partners for their support, especially the media and all our partners, health partners, the Ministry of Information, for the wonderful opportunity they create for us to educate the population. Thank you very much.
All right, so that was the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumar-Boaje, giving us a brief on the latest development in terms of Ghana recording its first cases of monkeypox. This has been in the system for some time. We all dreaded it coming to the country. Some 2 weeks ago, there were some reported cases of Ghana recording its first case, but that was brushed aside by health officials. Today, we are hearing this very news that Ghana has indeed recorded a first case from some samples taken. Manuel was at the press conference and joins me in the studio with more. Manuel, which areas are these monkeypox cases recorded, and how do they manifest?
Well, indeed, according to the Ghana Health Service, a total of 12 samples were collected on 24th of May, 2022. And out of these 12 samples, 5 of them were confirmed here in the Greater Accra region, in the Western region, and in the Eastern region. And so we currently have these 5 cases spread across these 3 regions. We're told that the Ghana Health Service has stepped up its surveillance, as it were, to be able to track, any suspected case. And indeed, what we're told by Dr. Patrick Kumar-Boaje, who is the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, is that contact tracing of these 5 infected persons, who include a Ghanaian who just had returned from the United States of America for a short trip. Contact tracing has begun to find the contacts of these persons and possibly bring them into some sort of medical supervision. What you'd need to know about monkeypox, even before its manifestation, is that it currently does not have any known treatment. Yes, there's a vaccine which is in limited supply across some parts of the world, but Ghana is currently not in possession of vaccine,
a single dose
of monkeypox. And we understand, according to the Ghana Health Service, that the infection at its current rate is not at a level where the country would want to go in for vaccines, especially because the vaccines themselves are in short supply. And so then we can talk about the manifestation of this particular infection. So the most common ones, as we have seen, rashes and some sorts of bumps on the skin lesion, and you'd have fever, and all of these ones seem to be quite prevalent in the cases that we're seeing. Fortunately for us here in Ghana, the cases are not as violent, if you like, as deadly, because we've not recorded any death just yet, and they are quite mild according to the Ghana Health Service.
Were we told the transmission mode such that if there is anything we can do to prevent the spread, then we can all contribute?
Well, definitely. The monkeypox itself is a zoonotic disease, which means that it's transmitted from animals to human beings. And so you'd want to, just for the sake of the current situation, stay off animals, rodents, your pets, and so on and so forth. As much as possible, you want to stay off them, and then avoid touching people, in their faces, on their skin, and so on and so forth, just so that if they're carrying the monkeypox, it does not get transmitted to you. And so these are the sort of manifestations, and indeed how you can prevent yourself from contracting the monkeypox.
All right. So that's that on monkeypox. Did they give us any update on what they are doing to ensure they halt the spread?
So currently, as you just said, the Ghana Health Service has stepped up its surveillance to be able to zero in on possible cases and trace them, and also put the people on medical supervision. I've already said that it doesn't have a known treatment just yet, so you rather treat the symptoms in fever, in a rash, and so on and so forth. However, as we're seeing, and with the health space, it's almost as though we're facing a triple threat here in Ghana, with monkeypox, the latest, to join what we've already seen the past couple of weeks in influenza and COVID-19. And so that's the situation that you have.
The Director General also gave us update on COVID. What's the reading of the situation now in terms of COVID-19?
Well, the Ghana Health Service admits that there's currently a spike. From an average of 1.3 cases daily, somewhere in April, here in the Greater Accra region, we are currently doing 44 cases daily. And so that's what you have here. And if that, trajectory, as it were, continues, then we may have quite a situation on our hands. They've been quite heavy on people wearing their face masks, because per the data that is available to the Ghana Health Service that we've seen, a lot of these cases that are being confirmed are coming through, enclosed spaces, in schools, in workplaces, in churches, and so on and so forth. And so they are encouraging that people wear face masks where they go into enclosed spaces.
All right. So that's my colleague Manuel there. Now, the minority in Parliament is threatening to block the introduction of any bill by the executive should the chairman of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, Kwame Ayimedu, continue to delay the passage of the anti-LGBTQ plus bill. His comment comes after the justified delay of the bill, arguing his committee will not cede to pressures from the minority to do a shoddy job. He insisted that the committee will go through the legal processes before the passage of the bill. But in a sharp response, the Minority Chief Whip, Muntaka Mubarak, argued that the chairman ought to have used the right channel for the passage of the bill. We'll bring you more details on the particular story right after the break. Stay on. Now, the minority in Parliament is threatening to block the introduction of any bill by the executive should the chairman of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, Kwame Ayimedu, continue to delay the passage of the anti-LGBT bill. His comment comes after they justified the delay of the bill, arguing his committee will not cede to pressures from the minority to do a shoddy job. Let's cross over live to Parliament, where my colleague Kweku Asante joins us live with more. So Kweku, tell us what's happening on the floor, from morning till now.
So Brace, it's been a heated conversation in the House with the minority particularly saying that government or the majority side is deliberately delaying the anti-LGBTQ bill, which some 7 members on their side are sponsoring at the moment. And so what happened was the chairman of the committee, Honorable Anyimedu Entry, spoke on the floor about his attention having been drawn to the concerns of the minority MPs. When he had the opportunity, what he said was that he was not going to be pushed to force the bill through, and that the processes that the bill must go through will be adhered to strictly. And so he said that, and then Muntaka came in, he is the minority chief, Muntaka Mubarak, but in a sharp rebuttal, saying that the minority has taken specific issue with how he, the chairman, is conducting the affairs of that particular committee with reference to this bill. And so the bottom line is that his side will not support any other bill that will come into the House until government or the majority side gives some priority to the anti-LGBTQ bill and ensure its passage. But then Honorable Afenyo Makin came in as the deputy majority leader, and he raised some issues with some constitutional provisions that had been raised. He provided that caution should be taken. This particular bill is a sensitive one. The committee needs to take its time and do its job and ensure that at the end of the day, whatever bill comes to the House for a decision to be taken on would have been one that can be defended. And so that back and forth went on for a while until Speaker of Parliament, the one acting today, Honorable Amakwesi, Second Deputy Speaker, directed that leadership of the House, together with the committee leadership, should meet and thrash out the issues so that by next week, Tuesday, when they come back to the floor, there will be a clear stance on how the bill can pass through the House or the progression of it. Brace.
All right, now moving on to other stories. Like everything else, the price of sanitary parts has risen. Some women say it is now expensive to menstruate. However, some women in Choco have now chosen baby diapers over sanitary parts because they are cheaper and absorb more fluid. Efua Prekua Buafo has been tracking the MPP's campaign promise to eliminate import taxes on sanitary parts and have the rest of the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will eliminate import duties on sanitary pads to improve health conditions, particularly for girls. It's very important, but what we want to really do is to make sure we produce the sanitary pads in Ghana.
That was Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia on 22nd August 2020, making a firm promise that his party will eliminate import tariffs on sanitary pads if re-elected into power. The New Patriotic Party won the 2020 election, but the government is yet to fulfill its promise. Sanitary pads are subjected to a 20% import tax and a 12.5% value-added tax, making the product expensive for many women. Taxes aren't the only factor driving up the prices of sanitary pads. According to dealers, the high cost of fuel is also to blame.
Well, now le 5 cedis, 50 pesos, or le 7 cedis. She be at 9 cedis or le 10 cedis. Ne, what be a no na mengo na make petrol da na ngono da na ngono. Wo no affect on the.
When it's that time of the month, Hagar, a resident of Choco, gets anxious because of menstrual cramps. But the rising price of sanitary pads is also giving her heart palpitations.
If we are entering new month, I become worried because the sanitary pad first, we used to buy it 5 cedis. But now some are selling it 8 cedis and some are selling it 10 cedis.
She is sometimes forced to use unhygienic materials, which can have serious reproductive health consequences.
The money that I was holding at that time is 5 cedis. And it's come by the sanitary pad, so I need to buy 0.
The rising cost of sanitary pads has forced many women to use baby diapers. Diapers are preferred over sanitary pads because they absorb more fluid and require fewer changes. Again, they are cheaper. Ayele explains how the baby diaper is used as a sanitary pad.
Inchio bia no we fiat me fiat split ka gbe nkagmen papa se ane ke ki 1 cd e wa mi an ke agba ke dan ma se ma cha ke ko shi pa de ne ke ga wo je fe shi ete fe ni mi cha ke o bia ne papa se bon ke ya.
She's not the only one who menstruates in diapers. According to Jamila Mohammed, many women in Choko do the same. She does, however, add that when she does not have enough money for diapers, she uses toilet paper.
You use pampers Cathedral. Can you my pampers and use Cathedral? Cathedral Rebecca in your hair. Come on, use half my failure. My useless 2 times. Hello, if me tick or by your useless 2 days, hello 3 days.
She gives a breakdown of why the rising cost of sanitary pads is economically squeezing many residents of Choko.
Baba Feko Kubafu me, enyo 5 cd. You call nye 6 cd, alo 7 cd, or enyo 5 cd, no manage all enaka. No manage all enaka. Biane no point 5 cd, biane no 4 cd. You babu laga ko ahe je ekwapani. You call ahe no ebo bagbo no ekwapa biane 8 cd. No 8 cd, biane ko nyo 8 cd. Besani o ya back no akota ko. Alo ato ti roko. No manage naka no cafe.
Activists have been calling on government to keep its promise of eliminating sanitary pads taxes. Social media has been flooded with posts explaining why the government should not tax women's periods. Esinam is one of the activists campaigning for the government to keep its promise of eliminating pad taxes. She tells stories about young girls who can't afford sanitary pads and have to resort to sex to pay for them.
We have seen in the news, we have heard stories, and they are real. It's not like someone is making them up, where girls are exchanging sexual activities just to be able to purchase sanitary pads. The prices it's just outrageous, you know, and it keeps increasing every day. It's becoming expensive to menstruate.
She makes a case for why the situation should be tackled with emergency.
In December, we bought a box of soft care pad, a box with 24 pieces at 95 cedis. You may want to do the division. Just last week, this same box was costing 165 cedis on the market. So you want to divide that by 24 and see the difference over the period. It's just outrageous, over 50% hike or increment.
Hagar, Jamila, and Ayele are pleading with government to pay attention to their cries.
His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Ekufu, we beg of him, he should reduce the prices of things.
Sister me wompi woblo wo mo ahie ko waka abapona ka wie pomis morning wo.
Ito makara ka bia ne beni bi jale wa iwo. Ekwo na che no fia na aga wote me ko wo benu chumo kwakwa ko no wachu.
This is a reminder to the government to listen to the cries of women and act swiftly. Ifwa Aprikwa Boafos reports, Joy News.
Hungry man say, fix the country.
Now, some women members of parliament led by MP for Ketu South, Jifa Gomashi, are advocating an ease in access and affordable sanitary wares for menstruating adolescent girls and women here in Ghana. Now, the MP spoke to me earlier on the news desk.
Before I became a parliamentarian in 2020, I volunteered as a board member for Days for Girls, and also as a friend to the Ghana Girl Guide Association. And these agencies or these NGOs have been pushing for the taxes to be removed. So as an MP, I followed up with my colleague Betty Crosby, who is MP from African Place, and she indicated that the year before our coming into Parliament, they made a lot of noise about the removal of the taxes. I also saw, and I think that you played that this morning, His Excellency the Vice President promising us that the taxes were going to be removed. So last year, when we read a statement on the floor of Parliament, Honorable Zuera of Salaga represented us and made the statement. We all contributed, and we were hoping that the institution that is to champion the affairs of women, which is the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection, will take this on and assist us to reach government and to get the results that we wanted. But unfortunately, I'm sure you know what has been happening in that ministry. So the work has stalled a little bit. But here we are again, 1 year down the line. Those of us who had an interest in it, we've organized events in our various constituencies, partnered with some NGOs again, to still press home the need for government to remove the taxes. I think that there's almost an institutionalized patriarchy going on. Look, when condom matters come, men are excited when they get them for free. But that's a decision to go and use a condom for many reasons. But menstruation is not a luxury. It's not a choice. It is biology. So it will come anyway. Once you're female, once you're a woman, and everything is okay with you, you will have the situation. And if you have to spend so much money just to collect blood.
Now, the Member of Parliament for North Town has once again alleged that the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, released an amount of 142 million cedis for the construction of the National Cathedral in 2020 without budgetary support and shredded in secrecy. According to him, the said release was upon the request of the Chief of Staff at the Presidency, Madam Frema Osei Opare. Again, it is emerging the relocation of the Passport Office, bungalows for High Court judges, and the residence of the Malian ambassador to Ghana cost over 20 million cedis to the state.
First of all, we need to render an account of what has been spent so far. Either people apologize, come before Parliament in a contrite way, and the Ghanaian people will have to decide if we should accept it or there should be sanctions. There are some of our colleagues who believe strongly that the Finance Minister must be a candidate for vote of censure.
Is that your belief also?
Yes, I take the view that I belong to that school of thought, that the Finance Minister must pay for this. You see, we must set a good precedent and deter others in the future who will engage in such, naked dissipation.
So you want Parliament to take
steps in the most illegal and unconstitutional fashion.
Quickly, you want Parliament to take steps to remove the Finance Minister?
Absolutely.
Because of this?
Absolutely.
A yes or no? Should we build a cathedral?
As a Christian, I will want that we suspend, looking at the current economic crunch, let's suspend the cathedral now, and then when things are better.
But a Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. John Kuma, says the payment is within government expenditure priorities.
And so we are building this particular project with the purpose of promoting religious tourism. And that is what makes this one different. In addition to the Bible Museum and other attachments, which are deliberate, we were going to spend on priority projects that governments were committed to. So it didn't mean that we were not going to spend at all. And we see a lot of importance in payment, or in this particular payment, to achieve the objective of government priorities. Yes, it is true. And for us, this payment stayed within the expenditure objective of government.
You're also watching Joy News today here on Joy News. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll bring you business. Stay with us.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Ghana Insurance Association has lauded the National Insurance Commission's move to fine insurance companies culpable of premium undercutting. The Commission recently settled on a fine of 60,000 cedis payable by insurers. Seth Aklasi is president of the association, and he spoke to Joy Business after the launch of the 2022 Insurance Awareness Month.
Penalties in the new act is it's significantly punitive. However, what the industry association, which is the GIA, is doing is that we're trying some sort of like self-regulation, because ultimately, if you said you undercut by 20 cedis and you are paying 60,000 for 20 cedis undercutting, that is a lot of money. On one hand, it serves a particular purpose. On the other hand, it goes to reduce the cash flow or maybe increase the outlay of insurance companies. So we have come together to provide processes that we will have to follow to stem that in the bud. In recent times, it's been communicated to all the CEOs. We have dedicated lines that anybody who's found undercutting would have to report to, and then the measures that we have to take will kick in. Ultimately, the penalties are what you pay. But 60,000 for an infraction of 20 or 50 cedis, I think it's a good enough thing for everybody to be on his toes.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Insurance at the National Insurance Commission, Dr. Justice Ofori, says insurers must consider business reasons for paying claims rather than technicalities. Head of Reinsurance and Anti-Money Laundering at the NIC, Esther Ama, spoke on behalf of the Commissioner.
As insurers, our business is to cover risk, and almost every risk is insurable at the right price. Over time, we have developed products to meet the needs of different categories of customers. But have we really covered all our customers? Is it possible for a customer, for instance, to obtain cover for a customized risk without having to pay premium that is comparatively off limits? How amenable are we to a client's needs? Also, available records show that we take the issue of claims payments seriously, even though a portion of the insuring public may be uncharitable towards us regarding this topic. I heard the other day that some people buy insurance out of compulsion. In fact, a lot of motorists buy insurance because of the police. This ought not to be the case. As insurers, how do we intend to change this impression so the average Ghanaian perceives insurance as a service that must be acquired willingly and happily? Are we willing to heed Mr. Ali's advice, Mr. Shaibu Ali, President of IBAG, of looking more of the business reasons for paying claims rather than the technicalities?
And that's business, the small, the marketplace. Up next, sports.
Muftau Nabila Abdullah here with sports on Joy News today. Ghana Table Tennis Federation team has been caught in a web of match-fixing allegations in their Commonwealth Games qualifiers. All results have been annulled pending investigations. President of the Table Tennis Federation, Mawuku Afajino, says this serves as an opportunity to cleanse the system.
We can't play like this. It's not even fair to the person we throw the match for to qualify. It's not fair to them, you see. So we have to clean up our game. And as for compromise, it's all over in our country. And so we have to say that in the table tennis world, we are going to try and do our very best. We are human. We will fall. We will falter. But our objective is that when we fall, we'll stand up again and clean ourselves. And so we don't do this here. We don't do this in this one. The important thing is for us to be clear about our principles and stay on the principles. You know, we'll not get it right all the time, but most of the time we'll make the offer. That's our guiding light. Am I seeing a fair game? And serious, I'll take this video. If anybody is contesting, we said it anywhere in the world and say, look at this game. Look at this game. And look at the points from 5-5 all the way down to 12-11. It's not right. The Olympic and Commonwealth Charter places fairness at the center of everything which is being done. And we have a situation that makes it difficult for us to say that this is a fair team selection.
This is a window of opportunity that we are going to seize with both hands. We're going to clean up the game completely. We're going to ensure that table tennis is the space where brilliance comes across, where hard work is rewarded, and where there is absolutely no tolerance. There is no room for fixed matches. There is no room for games of compromise. There is no room for throwing up games, and where the principle of true sportsmanship is what abides all the time. So we are going to get to the bottom of this very quickly.
To the Black Stars, where its deputy captain Thomas Partey has opened the doors of the national team to players who are domiciled abroad and willing to switch nationality to Ghana ahead of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. According to Partey, all the best players are needed to help the country. He also spoke about Ghana's World Cup group, which has Uruguay, South Korea and Portugal, as well as the technical team led by Otuado.
Well, I think everybody have their career. You can't push someone, to do something that they are not ready to do. So if they come, they are very welcome because we really need them, and we need all the players and everyone that is really ready to play for Ghana. We need them, and we are very much happy to receive whoever is ready to play for Ghana.
I mean, you watched the game at the Cape Coast Stadium. Black Stars won by 3-0. It's a good game for you.
Yeah, they played very well. Good team performance. Everybody was doing their job. And as I said at the end, we won, which is the most important. Then we have to continue winning to be able to get more wins.
And we are preparing for the World Cup. You've had to look at the group. I haven't heard you on what you make of our opponents with the Uruguay, the Portugal, and South Korea. What have you made of that group?
Well, I think they have important players. They have a good team, and we have to give them that respect. But at the end, we have to do our best. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to go and play like it's one of our last games. And at the end, we never know what will happen.
And just the final one before I let you go. I mean, the new technical team seemed to be.
And this is our wrap up sports here on Joy News today, but we do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. Up next is World News.